I have been off the trail for 2 weeks as of today, and I wanted to just give you a quick update as far as what's going on with me and why I suddenly departed from the trail. I mentioned that I was having this weird feeling that wouldn't go away, and I think I also mentioned that I had rolled my ankle a few times and was having what I thought was just normal hiker hobble, normal pain, but I ended up getting a boot for my birthday. When I got home, actually the first day I got off the trail when I was in 𝘼𝙗𝙤 and I was just walking around town, I was in a lot of pain and it was hitting not only my foot but also my knee, and I was like, something's wrong because I'm having trouble with my foot and it's messing up my gait and all of that. So it started just strangely hurting more and more as I waited in 𝘼𝙗𝙤 to be able to get out of town. And by the time I got off the plane in Atlanta Thursday night, I could barely walk. I've been sitting on a plane. It was a long flight, 2 long flights, and it was really, really hurting. So I spent a few days just resting, laying on the couch for like 4 or 5 days until I could get in to see the doctor. Even though I was having that pain, I was kicking myself for leaving so soon. I really felt like maybe I had made the wrong decision, and I hated that I only did basically 8 days of hiking on the trail. I was angry that I hadn't prepared more, even though I only had 2 months to train. Frustrated that I wasn't going to be able to do the through hike that I was hoping to be able to do, and just really being hard on myself. But I knew I wasn't in any shape to get out of hiking because my foot was hurting so badly. So I got it in my head that, well, maybe if I heal up with a little bit of rest, then I could go do a week on the Appalachian Trail, which is not very far from here. I thought I could just do the Georgia section, have Andy drop me off one weekend and pick me up the next. And then if I did well with that hike, that I could fly back out to California and get back on the trail. But after a week of rest, my foot was not a lot better. I was able to get a doctor's appointment with an orthopedist, and she was really a great doctor. I was very worried because so many doctors don't seem to understand hiking injuries, but she did. She understood backpacking, and after looking at some x-rays, she said I probably had a stress fracture in the bone on the top of my foot that's right under the ankle. And then also, if you're familiar with such things, the posterior tibial tendon was inflamed at the point that it joins that bone. So she put me into a boot for anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks and said that I should not be returning to the trail. So I was also at the same time thinking through my alternate plan, which actually was my very first plan when I started thinking about getting off the trail before I started beating myself up. And that was to take care of some creative projects and give myself some space just to think. I thought, oh, I can just go back and rent a cabin somewhere or a yurt or a houseboat or something for a month or two and just take some time to really just be and get some of those projects squared away that I have been thinking about for a long time, spend some time with my family, that sort of thing. But as I started researching, oh my gosh, I'm sure a lot of you know that rents are sky high. Rents for furnished places in any part of the country are outrageous. I mean, I couldn't really find anything reasonable for less than a couple $1,000s. I found several that were $3,000, $5,000, even $10,000 a month, and that's just way out of my budget. So I am going to be going back to Florida, picking up the van and getting back to van life for a little while. And I will still try to do some of those projects while I'm van lifing. And I also plan to really focus on getting back in shape so that I can do some more hiking and backpacking. And as part of my plan to get back in shape, I'm hopeful that I'll finally do a trail that I've been aiming to do for 3 years now, since 2019. I wanted to do it when I got off the AT, and then my life fell apart right about the time that Double Stack and I were going to go hike it in 2019. So I would like to do the long trail in maybe August, September of this year. And if I can get in shape, if my foot's great, that would be a wonderful stretch to do. So that's in my sights. As I wean myself out of the boot, I plan to do some short trips. The doctor recommended just starting out with 2 or 3 miles on easy trails and then working my way up. So I'm going to do that as I travel. In addition to the long trail, there are a ton of other trails that are in the 200-300 mile range that would be great for just getting out for a couple weeks. I'll do short trails probably at national parks, 5-10 miles, or maybe some overnight backpacking. But the 𝘚 is also on my radar. I thought Alabama was beautiful when I was there, so I may try to do some of that. I don't know if I'll do the whole thing. I might be able to string together a few shorter through hikes before I tackle the PCT next year. So I'm going to be doing as much hiking and backpacking as possible, taking Forrest with me when I can, and of course dropping in to visit Andy since he is tethered to the internet at the moment. We're gonna see if we can work that out so that we can spend some time together. And I will be getting back to publishing the videos that I didn't finish before I started about the van build and some van life videos. So if all you want to see is backpacking videos, I totally get that, and you can actually subscribe just to my playlist for backpacking. You can subscribe to one that's just van life, one that's van build, so you have options, and I'll provide links for those so that you can do that if you're not really into the whole van life thing. I get it. That is my current plan, and I do definitely have the PCT in my sights for next year. But I'm going to be much better prepared, in much better shape, and I'm going to be ready to rock the whole trail. That's where I'm at right now. I really appreciate all the support and love and kind words that I've had from everyone. You guys are awesome, and yeah, just stay tuned. The adventure continues.